Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Coach Jay.
Continuing our video series, breaking down the 2024 in-state kids for Tennessee. Excited about this thing. Look, anybody with half a brain can see we're still wearing the same clothes we were in video one. So we recorded a couple of these ahead of time. We are reading your comments. We want to give you guys more content that you want. So make sure you're commenting, letting us know. Do you want longer formatted videos? Do you want Coach Jay to go more in depth? We will give you guys what you want. But just remember that we recorded a couple of these ahead of time. But you guys know the deal. Smash the thumbs up, quick, free, easy. If you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, not insiders. We are fans, just like you, for the fans, by the fans. Coach Jay, maybe he is a little bit of an expert. He's a ball coach, and he's breaking down the in-state talent for the Tennessee in the class of 2024. Last episode, I don't even know what to call it. They're not even episodes. Last video, Coach Jay. Yeah, installment. Broke down Caleb Beasley, the number one player in the state of Tennessee, according to 247 Sports. Give us a little recap, Coach Jay. What did you think breaking down the film? And you watched a whole lot more film than what we watched in the video. What do you think of Caleb Beasley as a prospect?
Yeah, in the film we watched, it was a lot of outside leverage stuff, and Caleb does all of that stuff really well. We talked a little bit about how smart he is, how much he has leadership at every level, and just how much homework he does in the film room in general is amazing. He has a good head on his shoulder. He's someone you can leave on an island. More I think about it, I really kind of compare him to a little bit shorter of a Jason Allen. And I think he's going to be a really good player for us. Go watch his junior film, though. Go watch him in press. Go watch him strip the ball away. He's very capable, very solid player.
So you can see today we're going to take a look at Edwin Spillman, the number 2 player in the state of Tennessee for the class of 2024. We'll click on his profile here, take a look at it. And again, if you missed the first episode, the first video that we did in this series, Coach Jay is a defensive-minded coach. He's a defensive guy, but he specializes at the linebacker position. So I'm excited to take a look at Edwin Spillman, 6'1", 216 pounds. Again, we're going by 247 Sports, number 2 ranked player in the state of Tennessee, 16th ranked linebacker in the class. And something fun we're going to do, Coach Jay's going to kind of break it down, and he's going to prioritize as we go through week by week each player. So I'm excited to see if he prioritizes Edwin Spillman over Caleb Beasley. We'll get into it here in just a second. But something else worth noting, Edwin Spillman's big brother Nate is a wide receiver, in-state kid, obviously. Already committed to Tennessee in the class of 23. He's already signed, enrolled. So we will be looking at him throughout spring and fall camp coming up. But let's pull up the film here. Let me get pulled up his highlights. Right now on 3.com, they have the recruiting prediction machine, and you can see there on 247 Sports, he's already been crystal balled to Tennessee. On 3 has him as a 91% chance to end up at Tennessee. I think when Big Brother's there, you've got those relationships. I think Edwin Spillman does end up at Tennessee. But let's jump into the film. Coach Jay, you know the deal. Tell me when to pause it. You can see some stats there. Back-to-back state champs. Again, that's something we talked about with Caleb Beasley just being winners. But here we go.
Yeah,
what do you see?
Real quick before we get started on Edwin Spillman, it'd be interesting to see how he fills out. If they're looking at Edwin for a will or for a Mike linebacker in our scheme. I personally think they're looking at him for that will linebacker in our scheme. I think they're kind of tabbing Arian Carter for that future Mike role, and they're looking for this kid to play will. So let's see what we got with him here. Okay, right away with a linebacker, we're always going to talk about a good stance, feet about shoulder width apart. We don't want our arms lazy. Sometimes you see people with Gumby arms flapping around in the wind playing linebacker. It drives me insane. He's got his eyes in the backfield right here. Looks like it's guard to backfield when we're playing linebacker. We want to read linemen to backfield in most scenarios, with a couple exceptions. There's always exceptions to rules. Um, but in this certain situation, it looks like we definitely want to be reading our defensive keys. And let's see what Mr. Edwin Spillman can do on this play right here. Go ahead and pause it and bring it back just a little bit, Boogie. Uh, you'll notice he takes a couple little cheat side steps right there, right? That's fine. He looks like a lot with Caleb. We talked about being able to line up and play football, right? I feel like he was a little bit out of position right here, and he kind of made up his steps with those slide steps. His responsibility right here is going to be back or quarterback to his side. So everyone down blocks with the exception of the right tackle who's out blocking. Right here, he reads those linemen and he knows that they want to push him down and they want to go to that empty spot right here. He crashes and completely turns his shoulders. And as you guys know from our Weathersby breakdown, I want to see you stay square as much as you can. Those shoulders are almost all the way turned with his head on the inside. I know some people were calling this a stunt at times. Now, granted, Weatherby was on the line at the time, but you never want to turn your shoulders that much. It's really easy to get burned outside. That quarterback keeps it and bootlegs around. You're going to be in a lot of trouble crashing that hard. We want to see you scrape down. We want to see you squeeze that play and keep it in front of you. We want to bring it back to the inside when you're outside leverage. Now, does it hurt him this play because the linemen kind of give up the goat and don't have a lot of good discipline, and he reads the ball into the back and he's attacking the mesh point? And is he fine? Yeah, he's fine. It's high school. He's super athletic. He's super fast. He's the biggest, baddest man in the land at this level, and he's just going to come in here real hard, crash as soon as he sees it and eats lunch. It's just those scrape steps coming in. I want to see those shoulders square. You can keep those shoulders square and scrape inside just as easy as you can turn those shoulders around and come inside. We don't want to give outside contain. I know it drives people crazy when quarterbacks run on us. Everyone hates watching Matt Corral run for 500 yards for Ole Miss. Well, how does that not happen? It doesn't happen by you over pursuing with your shoulders turned around. Let's stay square. Let's scrape down. Let's keep them honest. All right.
Let's go back. Let's rewind. I like that breakdown right there, because when you watch the film, it's like, well, he made a great play. But in the film room, he's probably getting his lunch ate, right, for not keeping contained and not being disciplined. But I want to go back and rewind. And again, we're winging this thing because we've not read your comments yet. This is the second episode. Mm-hmm. But Mike versus Will. Break it down for the casual fan. What is the difference between a Mike linebacker, which you said is reserved for probably the Arian Carter type, versus a Will linebacker that you're talking about, Edwin Spillman? What's the difference in layman's terms, I guess?
Well, everyone, of course, knows the mic, right? It's everyone who watches NFL Sunday Ticket or NFL Mic'd Up always sees Peyton Manning or Tom Brady yelling about the Mike linebacker, right? There's the Mike. He's the Mike. He's the Mike, right? Everyone knows that. And for layman terms, your Will linebacker, where I like Edwin for, is going to be your weak side linebacker, and your Mike is going to be your strong side linebacker or middle linebacker. Now, how you use those linebackers exactly matters a little bit on scheme. And when you guys are watching this bowl game, I know Banks isn't in there this time, but when you're watching this bowl game, start to take note of who's blitzing more. Is it the Mike or is it the Will? It will tell you a lot about the scheme for that game and how the coaches see those responsibilities. It'd be really easy to sit here and say, in a 4-3, the Will and the Sam are traditionally in coverage and the Mike is traditionally blitzing or spying the quarterback or that kind of thing. But is variable as these defenses have become, guys, I will tell you, as a defensive coordinator, I want to disguise that as much as possible. Hey, look, we've all had the Coaching for Dummies book out for a long time as coaches, and everyone knows what you're supposed to do as a defensive coach. It's about disguising those assignments, switching those assignments, and then disguising your switches. Like, it's straight up KGB stuff at the linebacker position. I think they want to bring the Will linebacker more than the Mike linebacker in our system. For several reasons. He tends to be a little bit faster. I know Arian Carter's special, guys, and Turlander and a couple of these kids are really special. We've come in, and they all have one similar trait that I want you guys to pick up on. They all shoot gaps. It's beautiful.
Aaron
How well
Beasley is a guy that
how
shoots the gap too.
how well they shoot gaps. And when you have your James Pierces, your Josephs, the edge rushers we're bringing in, even your West, when you have speed on the outside that we're recruiting. Boogie was talking about the other night what a premium our coaches have put on our defensive ends. And when you can bring outside fast pressure, it causes that offensive line to spread out more. And just like Josh Heupel's offense, we want to spread you out to go right at you. And when we've spread you out with those defensive line ends moving quickly, and I can get a Will or even a plus to that, a Mike shooting one of those gaps super quick, up A gap, up B gap, that's a nightmare. I mean, the straightest distance between any 2 points is a straight line, right? Kind of goofed that up a little bit, but you all know what I'm saying. And when you can bring that Will on a straight stunt, a straight crash, heck, even a cross pop, and you have pressure on those ends, it's going to pay dividends. And after we got all those edge rushers, make no mistake, we're stacking the linebackers. It's why you see your Arian Carters. It's why we're going after Edwin Spillman. And spoiler alert, guys, I think this kid's really special. I might pick on him in this film room. Well, guess what? Linebackers and defensive coaches pick on kids we think are special. So just bear that in mind for anyone who thinks I'm picking on them today. Let's check it out.
So again, completely derailed the conversation, but that's the beauty. I want to pick Coach Jay's brain as a casual fan for you guys in the chat. That's what we're trying to do with this film breakdown. And again, I've already told Coach Jay off air, appreciate his time coming on here and breaking this stuff down for us. So let's jump into a little bit more Edwin Spillman here. Second play. I wish they would have circled him. They didn't circle him on that play.
It's okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you're fine.
Somebody's about to get lit up.
Rewind it. For those of you who don't know, it looks like Mr. Spillman wears, is that a 53 or a 13?
Looks like a 13.
Yeah, it looks like a 13. Mucho respect to him on wearing the unlucky number. That's right. You make your own luck in this game. Now, he rewind it just a little bit more, Boogie, before that moment in time. Yeah, we got to take a look at this one, guys. All right, he's gonna sit in the flats right here. He's gonna take a small read step. Now, one thing, pause it. Go back just 2 seconds and pause it, like maybe a second and a half. Yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, beautiful. I want you guys to check this out. This just makes an old linebacker coach happy right here. Look how deep this man has settled into his linebacker zone, right? Most linebackers get caught right above this referee. They kind of pick themselves at times, especially at the high school level. This guy is settled nice and deep. Now, I know it bugs some Vol fans when the cornerbacks do this, but our linebackers, man, you want them to settle a little bit deeper in that zone. He's watching everything from here. He can see that whole field in front of him. He can see what's developing. He's going to leak out a little bit to the flats. He's guarding that deep slant over the middle right now. He's totally blocked that quarterback's view because he's settled so deep. And now quarterback's got nowhere to go on that deep slant, right? He's almost creating his own hit. He's sealed off. Oh, now I've made a decision. Now you're going to die. and you're dead. They had to go to the next film because we didn't have time to watch the kid go out in the ambulance. That play, that was a beautiful hit. Just watch your targeting in our league. You're not allowed to get too crazy anymore, Mr. Spillman. But I love the tenacity. I love a nasty linebacker. Who doesn't like an Al Wilson, a Raynuke Thompson, a Ray Lewis? Who doesn't like a linebacker, an Alvin Mack from the program? You know,
Mm.
I
Greatest movie of all time.
Spillman
Greatest
probably
movie
got
of all
up
time.
after that play and told him not to let his sister not to flirt with his sister anymore or something. All Alvin Mack from the program. But let's see what we got on this next play here.
He's lined up on the bottom on this play, coming off the edge.
Yep, absolutely. All right. I mean, it's just a straight stunt inside, and as Wayne loves to say, we need to yes, attack the mesh point right here. But when we attack the mesh point, it always needs, in my opinion as a linebacker, not even in my opinion, just in the book's opinion on how it's done, I want them to attack outside in. And on this mesh point read right here, I know he gives it off, but quarterbacks are going to be better in the SEC. They're going to sell that fake better in the SEC. They're going to pull that string back a little in the SEC. And if he attacks, pause it almost right at the here.
Let me go back. Let me
Little
rewind.
bit
Hold on.
before, like right as the quarterback's about to hand it off. Go ahead and give me a pause, Boog. Right there. Yeah, see these shoulders again, once again, totally lassoed inside, and they are a little bit further back, not so much in this exact moment, but you know, if he takes this just 6 inches a little more outside to almost that quarterback's handoff hand to the butt, he's probably got running back responsibility, although I tend to think he had outside contain on this play, even though it was a stunt. You wouldn't really know unless you talked to the coach on it. He could have had something weird drawn up, but in a typical world, he would have outside contain. He needs to make sure he squeezes this down. He needs to make sure he attacks the outside shoulder of his mesh point here, and go ahead and murder both of these kids right here. Go ahead and attack that mesh point, but you let that quarterback get outside of you like he is here. You see, if that quarterback pulled that ball in this moment, what's going to happen? He's going to have some grass in front of him. That's for sure. So we just want to fix those shoulders a little bit. We want to make sure we're being honest as a linebacker. Once again, guys, you have this much speed, this much ability at this level. You can get a little sloppy. You're going to cheat a little. You're going to let those little things go. I assure you, Coach Sean Marie is not going to let that little stuff go when he gets there. He's in the middle of making a call right now. Once again, leadership at every level. Let's see how he gets lined up here. He didn't like something. He didn't like how someone was lined up. That is beautiful. That is a very, very beautiful thing. Yeah, see, one thing I like is he starts to drop back into his zone right here, right? He knows the back's not leaking out. He goes in heads and reads him. He knows no one's sitting in the flats. So he's got two decisions. He can sit there in no man's land and kind of just sit there and get caught in no man's land, or he can make a strong decision, get his body upfield, commit, and take the quarterback out. And as linebackers, they made it hard for us in the modern era, but we want to make these quarterbacks pay for this. We want to make sure they're getting up sore. We want to make sure they remember our number, and we want to make sure next time they step up in that pocket to make that throw, they're thinking in the back of their mind, "Oh crap! I better get this ball out a little quicker. I'm about to get decleated." And Mr. Spillman does a wonderful job of this. He doesn't get caught in no man's land. He makes strong decisions, and more often than not, they're the correct decisions. Let's take a look at least one more. All right, floating in the middle here. I'd like to see him settle a little deeper. He may even be spying on this play. It's a little hard. Earlier when I was talking about settling a little deeper as a linebacker. It's so you don't get caught in this wash. This is hard to see. This wash is, especially at the college level. I mean, these guys are 6'5", 6'6" across. I think Spillman, what'd you say, was 6'1", 6'2", something like that. The more space you get right there, the better off you're going to be. He's also settled a little bit in front of the sticks for my liking. Um, they get a hard comeback route or something that right here he's in trouble. I know they're not running into that on this play, guys. I can see that. Don't worry. I'm not that blind yet in my old age, but looks like he's a little bit caught in the wash. And as a linebacker, you see the gap between number 15 on his team. Just a little slow shooting to the gap. I want to see him feel that a little better. When there's a big hole on the offensive line and you're a linebacker between 15 and the guard on this play, man, you can bet your butt 9 times out of 10 that quarterback will pop right through that hole and take it for a 10-yard gain, especially when you got coverage. Now, right here, the quarterback doesn't see it. He drops outside. He's able to keep contained, and it doesn't really cost him, right? He gets the defender off him really quick. I know we won't watch too much Edwin Spillman film today, guys, but go back, watch his whole film. Man, he is good with his hands. He is good at it punching, it dipping, it ripping, it popping, it having that great ability to get off a block. Man, it is hard to get off a block. It's almost like gravity pulls us into someone as a linebacker. Well, that's a bad idea with Spillman. You're going to get punched in the gut or in the throat or something with Mr. Spillman in there. He has very violent punches. He shoots the grab well. His read steps are solid. If he fills out, he could even turn into a little bit bigger of a linebacker, a la Gerard Mayo or someone like that, maybe even a Kevin Simon. He needs to put a little weight on. I know we don't see him right now. We kind of see him as a more of a coverage linebacker or a linebacker that shoots A gap, B gap, maybe even a cross pop, some delayed blitzes, things like that. From this film, we don't get to see him in too much coverage. I like to see how deep he settles. It's going to be excited to watch this kid grow, though, man. I'm really high on him.
We're going to take a look at one more play. I just want to remind you guys, make sure you hit the comment section. Let us know what you want. This is the second video we've done. We broke down Caleb Beasley, and when I say we, I mean Coach Jay, and now also Edwin Spillman. Both videos going about 25 minutes. Is this what you want, or do you want even more film? Do you want us to go a little bit more in-depth? Hit the comment section. Let us know. If you haven't done so, make sure you smash the thumbs up. If you want to pick up the Talkin' VAWLS merch, all the links to that are in the description below as well. As you guys can tell, I'm keeping my mouth shut, letting Coach Jay talk. Let's take a look at one more play here from Edwin Spillman. What do you see, Coach Jay?
Well, right here, he's showing blitz, right? He wants everyone to know, hey, I'm right here up on the line. I'm standing nice and tall. I'm sticking my head in there. I might have some choice words to say to the center or the quarterback in that situation. He bears down on him, and pause it right as the ball snapped here, Boogie. Okay, he takes a jab step, and I mean, I haven't seen this play. I'm just guessing, but I'm guessing he's going to pop back into coverage right here. He takes that jab step, and, I'm good with that. I'm okay with him showing blitz like that. I wouldn't mind if his creep to the line was a little more organic and a little more slow as the quarterback's, getting his pre-snap adjustments in. Let that quarterback slowly kind of watch you meander into that gap rather than just stand in it when the play's started, if you know what I mean. It will also force that center to pick you up, to make an adjustment line on the call. And the more of those adjustment calls you can pick up, the more of those offensive line signals, the more you're going to help your big guys in front of you. Any linebacker will tell you a lot of the times we're as good as our D tackles are in front of you. And the more we can help them, the better. This is one of the ways we can help them, is getting them hip, getting them keen to those offensive check down calls, those offensive audibles, the quarterback audibles, and all that good stuff. But he takes his jab step. Let's maybe let him take a couple more steps Yeah, see, he's going to settle back into coverage here. And right in this moment, we see what he does, guys. He has those shoulders turned that I hate, except right now he's walling off. And this is like I was talking with Boogie earlier. There's always exceptions to every rule in football, guys. And right now is when you want to turn those shoulders. It's when you want to wall those people off. His backer to his inside has quarterback responsibility on this specific play. Um, his only threat is where his cornerback has outside leverage and could force him in, or this check down right here could float inside as well. So as long as he's walling off and keeping everyone um, from floating inside, from making that slant play, from sitting down in the flat or hook to curl or any of that good stuff, I'm happy with it. Let's see if he can hustle out and get a little more out into that area. He opens his hips up a little more. You probably saw the ball come out or the receiver's hands go up. So he really commits. He does a good job of not absolutely murdering that kid and not getting a flag on the play. So that makes me happy. Hey, he took a little peek. When he flips, you see him take a little peek, and he knows the ball's coming out. And he's already done his job at this moment here. Yeah, right before the hit, he's right here. Yeah, he's done his job, right? He took his peek, he looked inside, and you know what? I will bet you a McDonald's bag of cash that this wide receiver, he ain't thinking, is the ball over my head? He's
Yeah,
not
look at
thinking
his
I'm going
hands.
to jump for the ball. He's saying, don't shoot, officer. Please don't kill me. I want to go home. I want to have kids. I want to watch film with whoever his coach Jay is in his locker room. And please don't kill me, Mr. Edwin Spillman. And Edwin obliges him and lets him go home to mom and dad.
I love it, Coach Jay. We're well over 25 minutes once again. Second player, number 2 ranked player in the state, Edwin Spillman, 6'1", 216-pound, 4-star linebacker, 16th ranked linebacker in the country. Crystal ball to Tennessee, looking good. Little brother of Nate Spillman, already committed, signed, enrolled on campus. So we broke down 2 players, Caleb Beasley and now Edwin Spillman. If you got to prioritize, if you're the defensive coach and Josh Heupel says, Coach Jay, who do you want more? Who do you value more, Caleb Beasley at corner or Edwin Spillman at linebacker? And guys, keep in mind, Coach Jay's watched a lot of film, not just the couple of minutes that we've watched in each video. He's watched a lot of their film. Which one you prioritizing over the other?
Okay, so, gosh, I want to give a nuanced answer, but I won't chicken out. Talkin VAWLS faithful, I won't chicken out. I would value Edwin Spillman above Caleb Beasley. I think he has. They both have extremely high IQs, and I understand everyone. Not everyone, but a good amount of you are hooping and hollering right now. Coach Jay, we need quarterbacks. We're playing Slaughter at cornerback, and he's getting burnt by Georgia every other play. What in the hay are you talking about? We have a couple really good linebackers. Why do we need him? Well, we need him, and I would prioritize him because of that fit at will that I believe he is, and he plays it extremely well. And I think you have an amazing Mike coming in and Arian Carter. And when you can get 2 linebackers that are amazing linebackers, kind of like Georgia's had over the past few years, and you can pair them with those edge rushers that we have, like we talked about earlier, you're just going to make any cornerback's job so much easier. And you're going to take away those slants, those cornerbacks being 7 yards off the ball and them sitting in the flat. You just saw that slant where you might be like, hey, that cornerback wasn't there. That slant would have been complete. Well, not when Edwin Spillman was in there, because the wide receiver put his hands in the air and didn't want to get murdered by the linebacker in that situation. He stunts fast. He attacks the run fast. He's a freak athletically. He understands the game. He can put people into the proper position. I'm really excited to see what his body can do in a college weight room. I think he could take off. It looks like he has that natural build for it. He doesn't have any false steps as a linebacker, which is really hard to teach. I know I picked on him a little for being a little bit out of position, and it's important to be in position. But for what the Vols are doing and how hard it is to find good linebackers in coverage, think about our linebackers the last few years and how difficult it's been for them to cover. It's just been as difficult as time as our cornerbacks have had, if not more so difficult for them to cover that middle of the field, especially when we're being spread out like teams like South Carolina did to us. And for a linebacker to be able to defend the run, the pass, and create pressure like that, he's really able to be that Swiss Army knife, and he can do multiple jobs where I think Caleb can do a couple jobs really well and play cornerback really well. I just don't think he's that complete Swiss Army knife that Edwin Spillman can be.
All right, there you heard it here. Coach Jay's taking Edwin Spillman above Caleb Beasley. The beautiful thing is both are trending to Tennessee. That's the beautiful thing. But coming up next, the next installment of the film breakdown with Coach Jay is going to be Mason Curtis, a linebacker that's currently committed to Michigan. We've also got Marquise Barrett coming up, Jalen Thompson. Tons of content coming your way. But again, remember, hit the comment section because we're going to take a little break after these two videos and see what you guys have to say. And then we'll kind of form this show moving forward with what you guys want. But that's going to do it. Again, all the links are in the description. Go support Spire Sports Group. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. More recruiting videos, transfer portal videos, all that good stuff coming your way. But for Coach Jay, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.